May 14th, 1916. Freddy was sent to the Somme, while Emil's regiment was quartered near a small village at the top of a hill. The village was called Vauquois. This is where the conflict had moved underground. Holed up in their trenches, the two camps dug tunnels and galleries. The underground war had begun.
All right, after a holiday hiatus, I am back and more ready than ever for some Valiant Hearts: The Great War. I initially planned on taking a break over the holidays and sort of extended that into January a little bit. I had quite a bit to do personally, sort of in my pursuit to get back to school, and just sort of some general stuff around the house. So that was sort of the first order of business, but I've been excited to hop back into this one. I think we are smack dab in the middle of Chapter 3 now in Valiant Hearts. It's already been heck of an emotional roller coaster. So I hope you all had a great Christmas, holiday, New Year's, all that stuff as well. And I hope you're strapped in and ready to go for some Valiant Hearts. Our last stream, Part 7, I posted just before Christmas 2020. Been having a lot of fun. That last stream in particular sort of focused on two different fronts. Firstly, we sort of got an update with Anna, sort of at the POW camp looking after Carl, who of course is Emil's son-in-law, married to Emil's daughter Marie. He seemed to be doing quite well at the POW camp. So well so that he made an escape attempt at the POW camp. And I think we're basically to assume at this point that he's essentially MIA at the least, or potentially KIA, as basically we made the escape attempt and we got, I don't know, maybe like 20 feet and we were caught by French troops. So not looking good on that front, but then it sort of switched back. And by the grace of God, I don't know, we were able to find out, we discovered that Freddy is indeed still alive. Coming into the last stream, we again sort of assumed that Freddy was dead in the explosion, trying to get Baron von Dorf. When we had him cornered and all hell had broken loose. Well, it turns out Freddy was alive after all, with Anna's father as well, the scientist who was helping the Germans, but more so by force than anything. So that was good. At the very least, and Walt, of course, the dog, as well. That's why I'm not so inclined to believe Carl is dead, because we haven't really physically seen him die. So all is good so far in terms of characters still being alive. We haven't had to face too much tragedy yet, but from what I've read up on this game, that could change at any point. So now we're sort of seeing the mention of Soms. That's sort of where Freddy has headed off to, and now we are with Emil's regiment right now in the French army, and he is sort of dug in these underground tunnels with his regiment at the top of a hill, I believe they said. They mentioned the exact place, but they sort of mentioned that the war at this point has sort of gone underground, and I remember reading there, it is Vauquois, that's where Emil is. Underground warfare really developed beneath the hill of Vauquois to the west of Verdun. We read this last time, but this whole tunnel system is so crazy in the sense that, enemies were literally feet from each other. When the camera was sort of panning up to find Emil here at the beginning of this chapter, you could see one level was French troops and the next level, literally right above that, was German troops. So it's extremely close quarters here, and definitely a little bit different of an environment than what we've seen in the game so far, where it's been more so focused on, outdoor environments and no man's land and trenches and stuff like that. But without further ado, this is Valiant Hearts: The Great War, and this is sweetfishPLAYS. So our commanding officer, I take it, this fine gentleman here, I think is telling us that someone needs help. So Freddy brought Walt back to Emil, which is great. Because I think Walt just feels right with Emil. He doesn't feel as right with Freddy as he does when he's with Emil. Him and Emil are like pals. What can you say? Alright, so still pretty chaotic when we leave the tunnels. The outdoor environment itself is still very chaotic. Just wanted to have a look at what items we'll be collecting throughout the chapter. I don't think there's anything there that we missed. Looks like the first thing we're looking for is a stethoscope of sorts, some device like that. Yeah, this guy's pointing me in a direction saying SOS as well, so we gotta find out where we can help. Should be this direction. There are some holes in the wall in which I can send Walt, although we're not sure yet where that'll send him. Let's try to send him in this one and see what happens. Yeah, see, it's difficult to know where he goes. Okay, we've lost him for now, but we'll come across him again. Okay, so that gets Walt down to this lower level. We're very limited on where we can go right now until we follow this SOS prompt. Oh, I had a feeling that was a mine. I'm such an idiot. Literally walked right into it. We've had areas like this in the game before where you have to be very careful of mines or explosive shells, like are in the ground right there. That's what blew me up. Unlike a lot of fellow troops, Emil is unarmed and only has a shovel, so figures they give him the digging duties. Oh, there we go. And then, of course, I hit the poison gas. Alright. So I'll dig out to there, I won't hit the shells. And then we have to send Walt underneath the fumes to pull the guy out. I've got to be a little more observant here, apparently. Not only did we save this dude, I can't interact with him at all. I thought maybe I could. But Walt was able to recover something that the guy was laying sort of on top of. Looks like a tin can of sorts. Walt can't go over there because he'll get blown up, I think. But they still won't let me go anywhere.
What?
You've got to find a way to stop those obnoxious fumes. Nah, see, Walt won't go close there. Okay.
What? What? Hey, what? Where'd it go? What?
Just Usually to figure these puzzles out, I just kind of play with my options, kind of like a point-and-click game until something just kind of clicks, no pun intended. But the only hole I can use for Walt to travel right now is that one, which gets him down to the lower level. These guards won't let me go anywhere else currently but this room, basically, at the very bottom of the tunnels. We helped this dude. And now I think we have to keep going this way, but I'm not sure how we get rid of these fumes. We can only go so close to them before we die. So I think that's where... Oh, you know what? The tin can I got. Watch this. So we have another ladder going down. We'll send Walt through this tunnel first because that'll likely get him down. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh my god, this is literally awful. This guy looks like he's tangled in... Oh my god, it looks like the TNT wires that are hooked up here. So this is just kind of one of those levels where a bunch of different people need help, and to basically make it through, you gotta help everybody. I don't know if I can get under these fumes. Okay, good to know I can, and Walt followed too. There's some more fumes to my right that we're gonna want to avoid. Shite. You alright, bruh? Oh my god, this is like this is literally like hell. There's a cart up there that looks like it can be knocked down. We have some TNT here. The only way to use the TNT would be to throw it through that open flame up there, so we can't really do anything with this TNT until we find a way to get up there, and the ladder here is unfortunately broken. Another thing too is we'll have to keep looking for collectibles. There's a place I can send Walt. Pick up one of the sticks, Walt. Head up there. Where does the other hole go? Walt's caught back up with us. Dude, I'm trying here. I don't know what to tell you. Alright, at least we got Walt reset, sort of.
What?
Okay, let's send Walt up.
What? What?
Well, he can't do anything though, that's the only issue. But the only way I can get up there with the ladder is if I had this cart, you know? Like, I don't know. And interesting too that in this particular section there are no hints available. Alright, I'm just gonna keep looking around for a bit.
What? Hey.
Oh man, I'm on a roll today in terms of literally walking myself into hazards. It's alright, we're gonna start in the same room. This guy leaves. We'll probably have to blow up that wooden floorboard so that the cart falls again. I was trying to pick up that piece of dynamite by the fire. I don't know why, I already had one on me. I'm just being an idiot. Alright, well at least, again, we're making progress. That is key. Again, you can toss dynamite up and over there through the fire. Landed on the wooden platform. Walt's got to go through there to regroup with us up here.
Merci, Walt.
Oh, right. Oh my god. Oh my god, and I walked into the smoke again. Okay, they're starting us right up here. That's generous. This level has, I would say, contained the most hazards. At least the most. Oh, I don't think it was there to begin with. I think when that explosion just happened, it started to happen. There's something over there that Walt can get. What is it? There you go. Sure enough, our first collectible. Listening device. Such listening devices, resembling giant stethoscopes, were used to listen for enemy tunnels and saps. Saps were tunnels that were built beneath enemy tunnels to make them cave in. Wow. Much different structure of warfare than what we were seeing up above in the open with no man's land and whatnot. Talk about close quarters. So there's definitely someone else we can save in there. Become a war of close quarters, collapsing each other's tunnels, and listening with freaking stethoscopes through the cave walls. That's crazy, man. So this room has a device here that I can manipulate up above. Walt can get into this room. And I guess so can I. Yeah, but I can't get close to the flame there or dig my way out here because of all those explosive shells. So what can we do?
Hey, Walt.
We need some... What was that? Oh, there's some TNT right in here. Duh. If I can get that to land up there... But now the question becomes, what do you do? What difference would it make if Walt was standing in that room, for example? Can I drop the TNT? No, it won't really drop. So here, let's try. Okay. Didn't work quite as intended, because I can't lift the platform vertically. I can only move that platform that stick of TNT is sitting on sort of back and forth horizontally. So ultimately, using these contraptions, I have to get to the far left end of the tunnel here where there's a dude, a French dude, who's stuck. So I'm still just playing hero. Alright, we have a hint now. I'm going to use it because I feel like we've already kind of been stumped here right off the top. Alright. Gotcha. I knew there would be a lot of moving Walt around because of all these different tunnels that he can move around with. Just not finding the right one. If I send him through that one, and then I go through this door, the human-sized door, and then Walt pushes the switch. Now we're talking. Aha! And now we go over and we see which direction the fire is pointing. Up. So now if I throw the TNT, it'll light while it's sitting on the platform, and I have to take it quickly before it explodes over to the dirt with the shells. This is going to be fun. Sure, let's call it that. So actually, firstly, if you look at the top portion of this room on the right-hand side, there's another little dirt patch up there. So I'm going to try and blow that up as well. See if we can get any cool things there. I already had a piece of TNT sitting on this platform, but it looks like when I switched the pipe over so that the flame was shooting up, it made it explode, obviously. Oh no, that didn't work. Let's move the little platform to an area I can maybe... There we go. Okay, doesn't look like anything happened.
I'm so bad.
Once we're finished, like, in these tunnels, saving each of these men, there he goes, later dude, sort of individually. Watch out for the smoke on your way out. Learned that the hard way a few times. This is saved for me there. Once we're done saving all these individual G.I. Joes here, we should be able to go back sort of to that area that we started where all the guards were blocking us and sort of figure out the rest of the chapter from there. So the guy that looked like he was all wrapped up in the TNT wires, this is a ways back. He was looking for the detonator. This is the detonator. What are we supposed to do with it? Okay, we'll just pick it up. I was like, man, this guy's gonna die if I use the detonator right now. And I was like, is he asking for suicide? Does Walt have something? Something's flashing up there. Oh my god, Walt found something for me. This dog is bloody brilliant. Good boy, telephone cable. Telephone cables were originally made with a single wire, but this posed serious security issues. Special divisions were created to listen in to conversations. All eavesdroppers had to do was hook up to the wire and listen in undetected. To remedy the problem, telecom engineers created a closed system with a second wire, which made eavesdropping much more complicated. Hashtag technology. Okay, Walt. Fun underground journey through hell continues. No, down here. Let's go.
What?
You are a good boy, though. Fine. I was trying to pet you, but apparently the game don't want me to give you any love now, so... Oh, this guy's gone. So he wasn't, like, harmfully tangled in the wires. Like, he didn't need our help. I think it was just kind of like a joke, right? He's got all these wires. He was the guy that was setting up the TNT, and he's all tangled up in it. But we retrieved the detonator for him, and so now we should be able to blow this section up and continue right here. There's another guy here. Looks like we can save.
Hey, what?
Over here, Walt, before I blow your little tail off.
Yeah, God.
You are welcome. Oh man, more guys to save? That's the thing with these tunnels, is that they're very sort of hastily built for the purpose of the war, so they probably were not engineered the greatest, and you have enemies trying to sabotage your engineering by building basically false tunnels right underneath yours so that yours cave in, and then disasters like this strike. And all of the shelling and whatnot from above has an impact on the structure. It would be like living in hell. It'd be terrifying down here. Alright, we missed one collectible there in between the telephone cable and the throat lozenges, but this is our newest find. Box of throat lozenges. Soldiers exposed to gas developed highly sensitive airways, so they sucked on lozenges to help soothe the pain. God, even the air they breathe hurts. Jesus, what was that? Man. Is this like the Valiant Hearts, like Silent Hill add-on DLC or something like that? Damn phone. Oh my god. That's a German, is it not? What the hell? Some more tunneling over there. What is going on? Looks like a German got caught in one of our traps.
How are you?
Oh, danke.
Merci.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the left if I were you. Just man-to-man tip there. The craziness of war. What a conundrum to find yourself in. You find an enemy soldier in trouble, and here's Emil, who's such a good guy that he goes and saves the opposition. This war is not about good versus evil to Emil, or, you know, having to kill a certain number of guys and be the most vicious Rambo-like killer of all. Emil is, he's just not that kind of guy. It's almost like he's not even fighting for a side here, and Walt is kind of fighting for a side, and Walt is kind of the same way, where he's not really pledging an allegiance one way or another. Like, Freddy has that sort of revenge plot where it makes sense that he's kind of an aggressor and wants to go after the Germans. Emil hasn't really needed to have that same kind of drive. There's no real reason for him to, and from what I've gotten from Emil, he's a very kind, gentle man. So, very fitting that he would save a German soldier like that. That's my opinion. it felt right. I don't know if that was a choice, if I could have maybe passed right by him, but it did feel definitely like the right thing to do there. Now, in other news, I can't go back to my own camp on the left side either, so we gotta waltz over to the right now. Oh boy. Hey, buddy. Think you can help me now? Look at this. French and Germans working together despite literally being enemies of each other in a war. Love it. He blasted the first bit, I did the next bit. Look at this guy. Very telling.
Commander, kommst du rum?
Thanks. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Now I guess we gotta get him across, too. So it looks like he's pointing out that the French are above here. Thanks, man. Oh no.
Hey, stilf das! Du da! Was?
Jetzt das. Merci.
Literally unbelievable. That definitely just kind of speaks to how human these men really are. I think sometimes we think, you know, war, bad, killing machines, but each of the sort of pawns in a war, at the end of the day, were all just born human, and although some of them might maybe lose it a bit and sort of have a tendency to act in a violent or hectic manner, think like Adolf Hitler, for example, if you're looking for like a real extremist. But so many of these guys are just men, coming from such a wide variety of backgrounds. So it's so amazing to see that scene. You know, we saved that man from certain death. He was essentially caught in a French trap there, I guess more than likely trying to spy on us. And we save his life, and then we almost get caught in a tough situation, and he saves our lives sort of in return. And again, it just sort of speaks to the humanity of it all. We see this chaos, this monstrosity all around us, but at the heart of it is a group of very human men and women, oftentimes. That was maybe one of the more emotionally touching and sort of deep, if you will, scenes. I'm kind of just kind of taken back by it. Anyways, our CO, again, our commanding officer, that's what I'm going to call this dude. He needs some sort of a, I don't know. He needs something. Lovely. Now we don't got Mother Nature on our side here either. So, yeah, now that we're done all in the tunnels down below, these soldiers are letting us pass now, which is cool. For the most part. I can't go any further right there anyways. Let's see what new areas I can access now. This is some sort of platform that will take us down. There's also another collectible over there as well. Oh, that's what our commanding officer needs. Whatever's on that platform down there. Cool. So we need to pull that up and onto, I guess, these tracks up here. Anywhere else sort of new we can go? Because in order to get that sort of machine operating, we need some sort of a tool.
What?
Thought maybe Walt could jump over there. That's not the case, so can't really do much there either. Oh, there's the key up there. Oh my God, it's on the German side. Look at that. Those are Germans literally in the tunnel above us, and they have the key. Right, just to the right of the Germans, there's like a silver tool that's sitting on top of whatever that is. A crate. That's what we need to get our main machine over here pulling. Okay. Another collectible, this time in the form of a British identification tag from 1915. The British changed their dog tags in the course of the conflict. At the start of the war, soldiers were issued with a single aluminum disc, but because of the huge numbers of volunteers, producers and engravers could not keep pace with demand. The aluminium discs were replaced by red vulcanized asbestos fiber discs. In 1916, the War Office requested the addition of a second disc to cope with the problem of unidentified corpses. Lovely. Okay, making a little bit of progress now. I just don't see a way in which Walt is going to be able to get over there. So can I like throw a bottle up here to hit the switch? Negative.
What?
How can we get Walt across? Again, and kind of stumped in an area with no hints. And then the areas that they have hints, I'm like flying through. Huh. It's gotta be something to do with those bottles. I think that's the missing link here is these wine bottles. Oh. Ah, you can hit the switch with them. Beautiful. Now we're talking. Let's go, Walt. Okay, I've got an idea. These tunnels are not directly connected. Like, our tunnel is not necessarily directly connected to theirs. However, the secret tunnels that Walt uses to traverse the floors likely are connected to their tunnels, somewhere anyways. And Walt is really a German dog. He's in, you know, German dog attire. So if we can find a way to get him into those German tunnels above us, he can just grab whatever we need and we can call him back. But we need to find which one of these tunnels connects to theirs. The only one I don't know where it connects to is this one up here. So you'd think that it's got to be this one.
What? What? Hey, what? 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 Hey, what? Hey.
Bonjour, que l'intérêt de la paix.
What? What?
There's gotta be a tunnel somewhere here that's connected with theirs. I didn't see anything over here on the far side though, and our tunnel basically comes to an end. Oh no, it doesn't. Oh. Aha. Duh. Give myself a little slap in the head on that one.
What? Vas-y. Hey, what?
And the Germans are literally none the wiser. Like, that's basically they're mistaking it for one of their dogs. It's not out of the ordinary to have a German dog going through German tunnels. So back through the hole he comes. Boom. Now watch this. This is what I call easy peasy lemon squeezy. Good boy. So we're only missing one collectible right now, and that's this one right here. Interesting. A trench lantern, a lantern that could be folded away and stored flat in a backpack. Soldiers placed a candle inside the lantern which protected it from the wind. Interesting.
What? What? Hey, what?
We have dynamite rigged just below their tunnel. As you can see, we've dug our tunnel just below theirs. As they mentioned, was sort of the common strategy, and we've planted dynamite above, so we're kind of ready to completely destroy, annihilate their tunnel system. Just gotta figure out what we're doing with this. Is this going?
What? What?
No, don't need to manipulate that.
What? What? Hey, what? What? Hey, what? 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 Hey, wait, what? What? Hey, that's it.
Okay. This is weird. We'll bring Walt back here. Walt doesn't want to come back up here with me. He gets stuck, like, right there. This guy... Oh, right. Okay, this guy wants... Should have just kept bringing this thing in the first place. Oh, now Walt wants to come join me up here. Thanks, Walt. Not be worried there, pal. Let's do this, boys. Emil to the rescue again, no surprise.
Ready? Here come.
Caron fi bouillon.
Hey, Prosit. Yeah. Come on. Ready? Here come.
French officers were proud of the heavy losses inflicted on the enemy. Emile, full of anger, refused to be decorated for what he considered to be a cowardly act. Emile and Freddy were, however, happy to have saved Anna's father from Baron von Dorf's clutches. His scientific research could no longer be used to make weapons of war. Good news being few and far between, they wanted to savor this moment. But Anna had frightening news. Carl had been killed while trying to escape the POW camp.
No.
Upon hearing of his death, Emile became sickened with grief.
So now we're jumping right into the action here. This is Carl. So last time we saw Carl, he was making his escape from the POW camp. That's part 7, our last stream. We talked a little bit about it at the beginning. We were just sort of left off again at a bit of a cliffhanger where we're kind of left to assume, well, they spotted him. Did they capture him, kill him? Like, what did they do? And I just sort of assumed, you know, the only thing we can assume is that he's MIA, more or less. I had a feeling that we were just sort of to assume that he was dead. Anna, having reunited with her father, thankfully, and Freddy and Emile, has given Freddy and Emile the unfortunate news that Carl is, however, dead. And now they've flashed back 5 days earlier, where I guess we're going to see exactly the events that transpire. Again, buckle yourselves in for this one. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a faster paced mission as Carl tries to make his escape with his newfound POW buddy here from the French troops. But that's really devastating news for Emile, because how can Emile go back to Marie now and tell him that Carl is dead? And now Marie is left all alone with this with their newborn son Victor. Like, I think Emile probably would have rather died than have seen his son-in-law Carl die for his daughter Marie. But Emile, just a tough situation for him. He does not like the way this war is going right now. He didn't like having to do that last mission, calling it a cowardly act. Anyways, let's see what happens with Carl. So good to know that while we're on the run here, there are 5 collectible items to be found in this level, and we do also have some more information here. The military police. The military police were responsible for enforcing discipline among soldiers outside companies, including in civilian zones, and were responsible for arresting soldiers found without passes, caught plundering, or committing any other offense such as drunkenness or ill discipline. They also collected stragglers, guarded against spies, controlled traffic, and chased down deserters and mutineers. And then our second tidbit here, managing the dead. Managing the dead, whether in the trenches or in hospitals, was a complicated task. Many bodies disappeared on the battlefield, and makeshift cemeteries were dug in close proximity to the front line. To identify corpses, as well as their paybooks, soldiers were issued with aluminium identification discs, or dog tags. Initially, one tag was issued, but this created its own identification issues. The tag would be removed from corpses for administration purposes, leaving bodies with no means of identification. So from 1917, 2 discs were used, one for admin, the other remaining on the corpse. Yikes, that was a close one. Oh man, that was a close one. I had to hide in the cellar of this home as Carl. Holy sh... These French dudes are not playing, let me tell ya. So May 9th, 1916, POW camp. I don't know if patrols are gonna basically just keep coming. There's some guys right there, actually. Let's just keep going forward. First of 5 collectibles, tent canvas. Tent canvas was a soldier's refuge. Often soldiers did not mount their tents, but rolled themselves up in it to stay dry. Extra clothing would have only slowed soldiers' movements, putting them in danger. Kind of using it like a sleeping bag, more or less, I guess. I do have an attack. I guess all the characters have an attack, so if I sneak up on the French soldiers from behind, I guess I can sort of incapacitate them that way. That particular soldier, I couldn't do anything. Let's keep going. Oh man, we are having some close encounters. Man, at the start of the stream, I couldn't stay alive with a meal, like literally running myself into the poisonous gas, and now with Carl, I've been like literally so lucky. Been in a couple real close encounters with these guys. We made it this far though, keep pushing. Shh, be very quiet. Looks like we're kind of stuck up here for the time being. These guys do not want to move out of the way, so... I figured I'd be able to pick up this fruit and throw it to like distract them and get rid of them, but it doesn't seem to want to let me grab the fruit. Let's try that again. Oh. So you didn't have to grab the fruit there, you just had to kind of use your attack or the square button, the punch button, whatever you want to call it, to sort of knock the branch down, which knocked the fruit down. Oh, where did this fruit come from? Shouldn't they be more concerned with trying to find the escaped prisoners than with some freaking falling fruit? Is this why the Germans lost the war? An infatuation with fruit? I'm starting to have my doubts. So far on pace to at least go 1 for 2 today in terms of finding all of the collectible items in a level. We got 5 out of 6 in the last one though, not bad. This is 2 out of 2 so far. Army Internal Correspondence. A special card that soldiers were allowed to send to each other. Brothers could thus correspond with each other even if they weren't stationed together. If one or several family members died, demobilization was not an option. In some cases, a whole family of men might be wiped out. Wow. Onwards and forwards. Sorry, I have to say that every stream. Quota. Alright, the 2 fruit dorks are gone. Ooh, I got a guy following me though. Shit. I do have some barbed wire clippers now, so that's good. But given Anna's testimony, we know this scene with Carl ain't gonna end well anyways. Ah, here we go. 3rd collectible, goat hide. Soldiers wrapped themselves in whatever was available to try to stay warm in the trenches. We talked a little bit about tent canvases being used as a sort of way to stay dry. Well, goat hides, such as animal hides such as goat or sheep hides, offered great protection and warmth. Interesting. I guess you have to use what you got sort of available at your disposal, and I suppose those animals were widely farmed around these parts, and that's what they had. So this is like as much stealth as you'll find in this game, but it does get pretty interesting. You still got to play your cards right. You can't be seen by any of the spotlights, any of the guards. They're not really it's not really the smartest AI, but again, it's not really a stealth video game either. So we got this guy. He goes across the platform above us. The guy on our level that looks back and forth. We can run past him when he's turned the other way. This guy up here, I'm not sure how we get past him. There's also a guy that comes up here, as we can see from the direction I came from. So we're kind of surrounded here. Let's see what we can do. I do have some hints if we get stuck. And we talked earlier about the fact that Carl escaped with somebody from the POW camp. Interesting that he kind of went his own way, so we don't really know how successful he's been so far. Another light. That's going to stop me from going any further that way. There is a scarecrow out there. I'm wondering how that might play into my hand. Oh shit. What I'm thinking is I sneak up, grab a bot. Oh shit. God. Keep walking right into obstacles. Damn. If I can, I don't know if I can throw the bottle towards the scarecrow though, because it's kind of like in a different level of the screen, so to speak. Okay, that did not really accomplish anything. Oh, I can throw the bottle at the light though and take the freaking light out. Duh. Alright, now we have a scarecrow that we can actually access and use, and we basically use it as a shield, as a way to hide ourselves. There's a soldier using a flashlight in the cornfields there, looking through. As long as I can put the scarecrow down, as long as I'm standing behind it, they can't see me. They'll only see the outline, the shadow of the scarecrow. If I play my cards right, we'll be okay. And make it the fourth collectible, this being a British magazine. Sorry about that. The magazine, London Opinion, encouraged British civilians to enlist. The cover features the famous poster of Lord Kitchener, the Defense Secretary, exhorting Britons to enlist with his piercing gaze that follows you everywhere. Ah, propaganda. Gotta love propaganda. Big part of any war, really. Does it remind you of something? Does that poster remind you of something that is a part of popular Western propaganda? Yeah, I'm thinking Uncle Sam. Yeah, I understand the need for propaganda, you need men, you need troops in the war, no doubt, but it almost feels like false advertising in a sense. You know, and some of the methods that many armies use throughout both wars and many wars throughout all of history have been less than morally correct, let's say. So here we are, made it to the other side of the cornfields. We're down to just one collectible now as well. Flew through this one. I knew it would be a bit quicker.
Vamos, capitán. Ya. No.
Okay, so flare, it's pitch black right now, as we can see. We're basically only seeing a black silhouette of everything that's around, including Carl, our character here. Do keep your eyes open for that final piece of collectible, and if I don't find it, and you do spot it in the video, please comment below and let me know how much of a freaking idiot I am. We can see there's some troops in the field there, and because it's so dark, they're going to set off some flares. Obviously, when the flare hits the sky, boom, everything is going to light up. And we have to be hiding behind something when that happens, such as these bushes. Thought maybe I could kill the troops incapacitate them. You can't. You just got to use the cover of darkness here. This is hard, not even gonna lie. Found the last collectible. It's just sort of at the base of that tree. You'll see when things light up again. Something will flash maybe once there. Yep. Okay, damn, there's a lot of troops around, but we can do this. Wow, so far, I think Chapter 3 has been one of our best chapters in terms of finding all of the items in all the different levels. Sort of the end of Chapter 2, we were really ripping through levels, finding everything as well. Braces is the last collectible item here. The soldiers must have accessory. At the time, braces were the more popular alternative to belts and provided support even for mud-caked loons. The guy who left this pair behind maybe had a solid belt for support. I guess just more supportive if you look at, you know, what a lot of the soldiers were wearing. I could see that. I could see that being a hell of a lot more comfortable when you're running around soaking wet and mud-soaked. Okay, shoot, I got caught. We gotta react quickly here. We run into that barn, that building. We gotta do something quick. Alright, that blocks off the entrance. Okay, Wilfred is the guy that escaped with Carl, with us from the POW camp, so he didn't fare as well as we did. Oh, and he put oh, so they think Carl is dead.
September 15th, 1916. The bloody Battle of the Somme still raged on. 206,000 British soldiers would lose their lives there. Freddy was commissioned to drive the newest weapon of war, a major progress in a conflict that was literally stuck in the mud. But Baron von Dorf was also counting on this battle to shine in front of his superiors.
All right, September 15th, 1916. Shifting perspectives here, back to Freddy. I know the game kind of jumps between characters a lot, and it can be hard to follow. I guess not really, but interesting tactic there by Carl. So he escapes with Wilfried. Like I said, obviously meets a more untimely fate than Carl, but when Anna reunited with Freddy and Emil, she told them Carl was dead. That's because when the French soldiers broke into that barn and they found Wilfred's body lying there, it had Carl's dog tags on it. So Carl is the one who officially gets reported as dead. And when the report comes back, Anna sees, oh no, Carl is dead. But in fact, we know he isn't. So that whole time, I'm like, we're playing through this level. We know he's going to die anyways because Anna said so. Turns out he's alive after all. So far, every time in this game you think someone is dead, they turn out to be alive. So I don't know what all these people are talking about, how sad this game is. Maybe I'm still going to be proven wrong. But I don't know. Things are tending more towards the optimistic right now. And I love it. No. I have a feeling things are going to absolutely get thrown. This whole game is going to get thrown completely upside down and all the characters are going to die in a nuke or something like that. I don't know. But that is good. Again, I like this. We're not ending the stream on notes where, you know, oh, perhaps these characters are dead and sad. No, everyone's alive. This is good. And that's good for, I mean, Emil thinks Carl is dead right now and he's trying to figure out what he's going to say to Marie when he gets back, but Emil, don't you worry, buddy. Carl's got some tricks up their sleeve. I can't even talk anymore. I think I mentioned this before, but I like that this game allows you to sympathize with more than just one side in the war. So you play like Call of Duty or like a typical war game, and you're always seeing the conflict from the Allies' point of view and how the Allies are sort of always dominating things, but you know, realistically that was not always necessarily the case, and the Allies got their asses handed to them, you know, more than once as well, lost a lot of soldiers. But this game kind of, you empathize with everybody. Sympathize with everybody, and I think that's cool. Let's just read these little tidbits going into the next level here. The Battle of the Somme. We knew that Freddy was headed that way, and it said something about him being in charge now of driving this new weapon of war. Can't wait to see what that is. The British initiated the Battle of the Somme in the aim of drawing the Germans out of Verdun to attempt a decisive push. For the first time on September 15th, 1916, that's the day we're currently in, 11 assault tanks were used in combat. Of the fleet of 49 Mark I tanks, only 18 were operational and only 5 were ultimately used. Yikes. Late in November 1916, the Battle of the Somme came to an end. All in all, 650,000 German, 420,000 British, and 195,000 French troops lost their lives, over 1 million. The Mark I tank, we're talking like early prototype tank here, this ain't no Panzer, developed in utmost secrecy. Tanks gained their name from the British subterfuge to conceal their real purpose from espionage. Official documents instead spoke of a device for transporting water to Russian troops. The first model to roll out, the imaginatively named Mark I, had a huge psychological impact, and tanks would reach their destination to find trenches deserted. The Germans, however, soon learned to cope with shortcomings. The vehicles were also unreliable, and interior conditions were horrific. Again, very early tanks. But that kind of gives us a hint that we're going to be using tanks now with Freddy, and we remember that Von Dorf also had this big tank contraption, big scary contraption of his own. You kind of see the story is kind of starting to head that way. We're going to wrap things up with Baron Von Dorf, hopefully kick his butt. But like I said, things have been positive, almost too positive so far. Everyone's always getting out of the pickle that they're in. And I've heard a lot of like sad things about this game in general and about people being sad playing it. And I'm like, I can't relate yet, but you know, maybe this will be the first time I cry on the stream. I don't know. Doubtful. I'm not trying to plant any seeds in your brain there. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can continue to follow our Valiant Hearts series while we're going at it. I don't think we're going to have too many more parts left. Hopefully we'll get a few more posted this week. And comment down below if you got any questions, concerns, you just want to say I love you, I'll accept that as well. And from all of us here at sweetfishPLAYS, we will see you on the other side. I think it's saved, huh? Oh man, we're getting ready for a charge. I think it saves automatically, so I think we're good.